the me and mine in me at the moment, which is dominating all my thoughts, words and deeds, recognizes that it had no hand in my very birth. So that is the thinking man. To every thinking man, it is an obvious truth that in life he is only at best an instrument in his hands. We are not generally ready to accept this proposition because the self-arrogating ego sense in us will not easily retire, allowing the diviner in us to reveal in all its omnipotence. Exactly the words, We are not generally ready to accept that we are only an instrument in his hands because the self-arrogating ego sense in us, which has been with us right from our childhood, we have been building it up, will not easily retire, allowing the diviner in us to reveal in all its omnipotence. Everywhere in all our activities, when we analyze each one of our actions, we can find that our actual contribution in them all is a meager share compared with what nature has supplied and what the unseen hand through its creation has achieved for us. The very air we breathe, we know it intellectually, but we are not recognizing it. Everywhere in all our activities. This is the thinking man, Just at the superficial level, when we carry on with our life, we will not become aware. That is why, in almost so many slokas in Bhagavad Gita, he keeps on harping this point. Nimitta matram bhava samvyasajin. So why we are taking it up? Papa wanted us to, Mataji always used to say, Deha Buddhi to be replaced by Vishwa Buddhi. The individual sense should be replaced by the individual, intelligence or consciousness should be replaced by cosmic consciousness. Otherwise, I limit myself to the individual. Papa keeps on harping this. Behold divinity in every aspect of this world, Leela. Verily, it is He at play in all beings and creatures. We have read this many times. We used to share this. But is it going deep? That is why He is asking us to go deep into Bhagavad Gita. We are not generally ready to accept this proposition because the self-arrogating ego sense in us will not easily retire, allowing the diviner in us to reveal in all its omnipotence. Everywhere in all our activities, when we analyze each one of our actions, we can find that our actual contribution in them all is a meager share compared with what nature has supplied and what the unseen hand has achieved for us. Even the internet, because of which we are now having this satsang, What is our role in it? Only to switch on the laptop, and you also switch on the laptop. Meager, that's all, meager. Think about it. At best, we can only make certain required combination of things that already exist and coax out of their own natural qualities and properties to a certain extent and vainfully claim that we have created something new. A very, very, very important, vital, serious clue or hint Swamiji is giving to us. At best, we can only make certain required combination of things that already exist and coax out of their own natural qualities and properties to a certain extent, resultant and vainfully claim properties to a certain resultant and vainfully claim that we have created something new. All creature comforts are all nothing but plays of children in the lap of the Lord, who in fact is the one who has ordered and let us have all that make our life comfortable. The prompting, the intelligence, the consciousness, and all the basic raw materials. All creature comforts are all nothing but plays of children in the lap of the Lord, who in fact is the one who has ordered and let us have all that make our life comfortable. Without these, no achievement is ever possible. And achievements are nothing but an intelligent assembling and reassembling of these very God-given things. Assembling and reassembling, dismantling and assembling. All the vegetables that are grown, all the pulses that are grown, all the spices that are grown, no? It's a gift of Mother Nature. We put it in a different way and we make it as a dish. Without these, no achievement is ever possible, and achievements are nothing but an intelligent assembling and reassembling of these very God-given things. And these intelligence is also given by Him. 2 jugs, one containing hot water and the other cold water, are placed by the mother of a child, and the child mixes them, gets the required lukewarm water. If the little one boasts that he has created or made it, the mother, in all her instinctive kindness, may no doubt congratulate the child, but she knows what the reality is. This is what happens. God, who is seated within us, He has provided everything. He makes us to do something, and then we say we have done it, and He keeps quiet. The concept of surrender and the theory of serving the world in constant awareness of the Lord are not idle dreams prescribed for escaping the gross realities of the world. It is essential for man to raise both his caliber and temper so as to work efficiently and achieve solidity in the world. It is the secret technique of keeping oneself constantly in a mood of tireless enthusiasm and joyous inspiration. To the limited ego, the world is too much. To the extent the ego is surrendered in the awareness of the greater and nobler, to that extent the entire world and achievement therein become a simple game of sure success everywhere. The concept of surrender and the theory of serving the world in constant awareness of the Lord are not idle dreams prescribed for escaping the gross realities of the world. Many people ask this question, no? If God is doing, what is my role? Somebody says that God is behind it, and we are repeating that word. We are not realized. And so the question is not relevant. It is essential for man to raise both his caliber and temper so as to work efficiently and achieve solidity in the world. It is the secret technique of keeping oneself constantly in a mood of tireless enthusiasm and joyous inspiration. When we try to keep the caliber and temper to work efficiently, to the limited ego, the world is too much. To the extent the ego is surrendered in the awareness of the greater and nobler, to that extent the entire world and achievement therein become a simple game of sure success everywhere. And then we are connecting Papa's words. So beloved Papa says, therefore, the command of Sri Krishna is rise beyond the dualities, rise beyond the dharmas of the gunas, rise beyond all conditioned states of existence, conceived of and set up as standards by the fettered mind and intellect, and be one with me, the all transcendent reality, and then act in life as my instrument, as my vibhuti, myself revealed in and as your form and body. This is the deliverance that I offer you. This is the supreme blessedness in which I grant you the bliss of immortality. That means the moment we accept that he is the boss, super boss, not ordinary boss, super boss. To move in this direction, out of his love for us, he directs us to dwell on the celestial song, the Bhagavad Gita, so that our mind becomes more and more refined to understand that he is working out his will through us, including the present world. So this is the basis. Here are some of the revelations he unfolds in his initial attempt to engage us in this process. Yesterday we couldn't show this. The background is clear, you want us to repeat it again?
It's clear, Swamiji.
Yeah? It is clear.
It's clear.
So with this background we approach, handing ourselves lock, stock and barrel to him. At the moment we are unable to do it. In spite of our knowledge, in spite of our discipline, the triune path, Nam Dhyan Seva, in spite of so many things, we still feel that the sense of individuality is the boss. I am the boss. So we did not go immediately because we have nurtured, nourished and brought up right from our childhood. So one statement we hear from a Swami will not, or from a realized saint will not pay way for its effacement. So along with our triune path, Nam Dhyan Seva, because we are dealing every day with the worldly activities, where the me and mine has a dominant role, naturally we need something more, and that is given to us through Satsang. So we will now quickly go through. Now, by His grace, in the shortest possible time, we started something in January, We were finding it difficult how to move forward. He made us to go again and again. And finally, He gave us the methodology. And now, slowly He reveals and warns us that this can still be refined. I give you an opportunity to refine again. So we will just go through that. So in chapter number 1, 4 are there. Evaluate first before plunging into action. Everything we are trying to connect with our life, okay? Not a textual declarations or a knowledge to be memorized. If you connect it with our life, it will stay with us. Evaluate first before plunging into action. Wrong thinking is the only problem in life. Wrong thinking means that I am the doer. The next one is supporting that. Individualism distorts our vision. And the next one is also like that. Beware of the dominance of the assumed self. So the first chapter paints this. Evaluate first before plunging into action. Wrong thinking is the only problem in life. Wrong thinking means I am the doer. Next one is individualism distorts our vision. Beware of the dominance of assumed self. Then we move to the second chapter. Right knowledge guides to ultimate solution. So we have to sift. So many thoughts will come, while dealing with the problem. So the mind must be trained not to jump and then sift and select pros and cons. This is called right knowledge. Never be carried away by ups and downs. Because it will happen. It will happen. Spirit is eternal, body is perishable. Stay even-minded in all situations. Patience and focus leads to peace and happiness. Remain untouched by outer influences. Right knowledge guides to ultimate solution. Never be carried away by ups and downs. Spirit is eternal, body is perishable. Stay even-minded in all situations. Patience and focus leads to peace and happiness. Remain untouched by outer influences. Then we move to third chapter. Replace the present with a move toward the future. Because he will not make us to, so far we have understood that he keeps on making us to move, which we call it as past, present and future. He knows that we are planning, we are set. Yesterday, today and tomorrow, Think. Selflessness, the only way to progress spiritually. Here selflessness means, what is meant is, no vested interest. So if we, spirituality means what? The spirit behind the sense of individuality, which is in everybody. So at the moment it is, instead of selflessness, we can say selflessness, yes. So when we become aware that we are what we are because of him, it is not, none of our thoughts, words and deeds will be centered on me and mine. Be free from the sense of ownership. Remain unaffected by attraction and aversion. Suppose every now and then we read this and think about it, whenever God provides us opportunity, past moments, along with our triune path. Triune path, we are sitting and doing, Nama and Dhyana, sitting and doing. And in our Seva time, these things have a role. So during the Seva period in our life, that is right from the moment we get up in the morning till we retire to bed, whenever mind is not focused on Nama and Dhyana, if we try to bring these dimensions, probably that will enable us to have effective Nama and effective Dhyana. Think about it. And then when we move to the fourth, develop positive indifference in all circumstances. You are doing, but you are not identifying. Positive indifference, not negative. Positive indifference, remaining neutral. Next one is also an elaborate. We find something now in this research. Each chapter is giving us a little more clarity, giving stress to what? Not different subjects. We find something is common in when we try to go through the slokas. Engage fully in actions while staying detached. Surrender the outcome of knowing the source. We have come from Him, that is the source. Every act can be an act of prayer. We move to the fifth chapter. Bliss comes to light by facing the sense of individuality. Same idea. So we repeatedly, because He knows, God knows that we understand for a moment, that we are again back to our usual self. So that is why He keeps on hammering every now and then. The same thing in a different way. Bliss comes to light by facing the sense of individuality. Act as an offering to Him, free from attachment. Actions exclusively for freeing from me and mine. God has provided every field for activity to free ourselves from attachment. Unknowingly, we try to make it more and more closer to me and mine. Actions exclusively for freeing from me and mine. Identifying the essence in everything leads to equality. That He is samam sarveshu. He is there equal. From there we go to sixth. Treat your mind as your close friend. It is because of the mind only we are not talking, we are doing all these exercises. So He is helping us. So we develop a friendly relationship with our mind. Optimistic outlook takes one forward. consciousness daily. Even if it is for a few minutes. Even now. The gap between the words, the gap between that is the consciousness. Maintain moderation in activity, food and rest. Consistent effort and self-denial should go together. Abhyasa and Vairagya. Then we move to the seventh. Recognizing core of our being leads to humbleness. He has provided, Ye Jagadata Vishwavidhata. In what all forms he touches and kindles, a beautiful bhajan, Ye Jagadata, Pranasakha, Tribhuvana Paripalaka. Pranasakha, he says. But we enjoy the tune, we enjoy the artist, we enjoy the accompaniments. But these are all the beautiful compositions. ये सुख शांति निकेतन है ना, ये जगदाता विश्व विधाता, ये सुख शांति निकेतन है. नित्य अखंड अनंत अनादि पूर्ण ब्रह्म सनातन है. That particular, that is enough, we concentrate more and more. So this particular word immediately touches and kindles those things. The core of our being. And recognize the one as the source of all sources. Bijamantharabhutana. Live what you learn. Trying to live. You want to live, but so many things. Live what you learn. Lack of clarity results in failure. And from there we move to the eighth. Train to remember him in life's final moment. We should train now. Constancy is a must for success. Remembering. Never give up on yourself. Optimistic outlook. Surface level differences blinds us to the common base. The moment we differ with anybody, the moment we cannot reconcile with the situation, the moment we feel that an object is a hindrance to us, all these things, that means we are not seeing that he is there behind it. He has programmed, he is subjecting us to go through such experiences, such persons, such objects. Surface level. From there we go to the ninth. Everything exists in him, yet he transcends all. He makes us to go through, but he remains untouched and unaffected. Be the benefactor, but remain unattached. Giver. But ever remain unattached. He prompts us to give, boss. He provides us with the wherewithal. There ends the matter. Value the blessings poured out. Right from the Bijam state, up to this moment. Whenever it's possible. Some of the proofs he is giving. Actually, it is not to go like this. We have to ponder deeply. But as a first step, we go through everything. Then we move to the 10th chapter. Grace removes ignorance through knowledge. Grace means His presence in us, but we are not aware. After this round, I will read a few lines of Chinmay again on this aspect. See divinity all around. It may look as a tall word. Divinity here means the common thread. So many things are common between man and man. The constitution and the composition and the equipment through which everybody acts are all common. Only the taste, temperament, preferences, priorities, likes and dislikes, that's the only there. Creativity reflects the infinite nature of everything. New things. Everything. All of us, who are sitting and hearing this, they can look back their whole life. In our childhood, we can never imagine about a stove, gas stove, or gas oven, or laptop, or mobile. We cannot conceive. So creativity, that it reflects the infinite nature of everything. The magnitude of the infinite is evident even in the minutest. We don't need a bulldozer or a big straw rock to give us the pain. Even a small needle, Think. From there we move to the 11th. Be aware of the limitation of the puny intellect. Then only we will pause and act or react with a balanced mind. If the puny intellect arrogates, no. Recognize his manifestation in life's expressions. All these things can come only through, as in Papa's word, reflection and meditation. Creation and annihilation, two sides of the same power. Surrender should enable us to see the truth as it is. without any prefix or suffix. And from there we move to the 12th. Life, a payback. Realize the absolute in the unseen, not in the seen. Initially, we don't see the seed, We only see the plant or a tree. But we know that later on, a thinking man, as Swamiji said, thinking man, he will start thinking. Without a seed, it cannot sprout. That is, realize the absolute in the unseen. The absolute cannot be easily seen in the seen one. Absorb your mind in the higher level. Okay. Absorb your mind. You will change it on a higher platform. That means withdraw from the present one and raise ourselves to the higher one. Dedication is the outcome of constant remembrance. Everything we are doing to him, then only the dedication aspect comes. Fullness and excellence, a move towards him. Anapeksha, Shuchi, Daksha, Udasino, Gatavyata. Thirteenth, be always reflective to know the core content. Not merely the body, core content. Detach from Maya and attach to the divine. If I start from my body, mind, intellect, then finished. That is the ignorance of the truth. That is detached from Maya, attached to the divine. Identity, the base. Identify the base while seeing the projections. Even now you are seeing the projections. There is a screen there now. Identify the base while seeing the projections. So he is behind everything, that is the base. Whatever he makes us to handle from morning till evening, at least we are praying, why don't you make me aware that it is your projection? I am not identifying at all with that. Distinguishing between the body and the knower of the body. For a moment we can stop and ask, we know that we have a body, that is knower of the body. Who is that? Suddenly when we come to the body level, I identify myself totally with the body level. I get a headache, I get stomach problem, I get this problem, that problem. So keep on, when we do that, probably to some extent we may be able to maintain this even while the feeling of the body dominates us. Distinguish between the body and the knower of the body. And then we move to the 14th. Realize how the three gunas bind the spirit to the body. I become unaware. Even in Satvik, people praise me. I am Satvik. Again I get myself. That is why Vinobaji used to say, Rajoguna and Tamoguna are to be destroyed. Sattva guna to be wounded. Live a lifestyle lifestyle that matches your vision. Your vision is to become aware of the super boss, So the lifestyle should be according to that. Otherwise, then if the lifestyle is what is dictated by the sense of individuality, our minds, there is no space in the mind to know him, to realize him, to move towards him. Cultivate awareness of nature's variations to transcend them. From the seed to the seedling to the plant to the tree to the flowering to the fruition. And then we know all these changes are there. Then I look at myself. I was a child. I became a adolescent. I became a youth. I became a middle-aged person. Now I am a senior citizen. What is that constant factor in that? That. Then we move to the 15th. Give priority to divinity. Manage imperceptibly. He makes me to do that. Recognize the guiding force behind resilience and recovery.
Swamiji? Manage imperceptibly what?
Imperceptibly. Everything.
Oh. Manage everything. Okay. Okay, Swamiji.
Yeah. Reflect on the perishable, the imperishable, and the transcendent. From there we move to the 16th. Being good is a reward in itself. All values, virtues, The moment we think about it, our mind has a pleasant feeling, Focus on uplifting forces, guard against those pulled us down. Expand from me to we. Be watchful, lest temptations ignite our weaknesses. It is still there, the form of vasanas, Any slight this thing, I will follow it. We are falling, no doubt. Then we move to the 17th. Faith must give way to trust. Everybody knows that. Gentle expression solves many problems. It is the tongue, that spoils our relationship with others. We say it's a slip of the tongue. Nobody is exempt. But the moment, at least by these things, when we come to know, we can try to repair the damage to a very great extent by apologizing and by doing something by which we make others know that we have realized our mistake. So gentle expression solves many problems. Cultivate inner silence for discipline.
Cultivating
inner silence.
Okay.
Inner silence is the bridge, between the sense of individuality and the indwelling reality. The gap between the two worlds here. The whiteness is there, we are not aware, we are only concentrating on the letters, but we try to become aware. That is inner silence. Choosing the right over the present is a sign of power. That I have to go through that again. It doesn't become clearer now. Or then finally we are coming to the last. Here also we found mysteriously 61, 62, 63, 66, all these things came. Always connect with the power behind the matter. Surrender dissolves the ego, realizing oneness with him. Rely on your inherent tendencies. Let go of everything, Let us move towards union with God. So this is the first rough cut Papa has given to us now. We keep on going through it. Again, one sloga for 1 week, or if you can send it, we can keep on. Now we have reached 76 now. From nothing, he made us to move. And he has given us now some idea. Suppose we fill I won't say entire chapters, at least 25% of the total slogas. Probably that process will definitely give us so many untold benefits, which we cannot say now. This is what we find. The guidance comes from within. So ultimately we have now 76 now. And we know now how the finished product comes out, It has still to go to the quality control, agreed. But the raw material has come from the lathe in the form of nut and bolt. And it has to still pass certain tests. Then only it can be released to the market. So similarly, he has given us all these things in the form of text, in the form of slogas, in the form of chapter, in the form of commentaries, in the form of so many things. Yesterday we were reading Papa's, That's also we will read before we close. It was very relevant. Secret of the Gita.
Yes,
Gita was Bhagavan Sri Krishna to Arjuna at the most critical and critical moment in Arjuna's life. A most crucial and critical moment in Arjuna's life. His mind was confused with misgivings and heart surcharged with deep sorrow. This fact makes clear to us that we can understand the right value of Gita's message only when we are similarly situated mentally and emotionally as Arjuna was. He had the patience, he had the faith in Lord Krishna. He had the patience to hear the 700 slogas. Say, for example, suppose you remove his 50 or 60, more than 600 slogas. And all very, very, very subtle, profound ideas. This is what Papa means.
Swamiji?
Yeah?
We are not seeing the articles, Swamiji. We are still seeing the points.
Why? How? Oh,
Swamiji will stop sharing with this and share the other one.
Acha. Oh, I have to go back again. Okay. Now,
Not yet. No.
yeah.
Now it is come, Swamiji.
Ah. Gita was preached by Bhagavan Sri Krishna to Arjuna at a most crucial and critical moment in Arjuna's life. His mind was confused with misgivings and heart charged with deep sorrow. This fact makes clear to us that we can understand the right value of Gita's message only when we are similarly situated, mentally and emotionally as Arjuna was. There is a time in every man's life when the problems of life and death, after existence and God, confront him, demanding his immediate and closest attention. He cannot shelve them, for they beat insistently on the portals of his mind. He knows then that everything to which he was attached and which he so long held as his own, by giving it a gloss of reality, is after all slipping away from his hands, that he is caught in the world of shadows to which he has been clinging with an insensate folly. His mind tries to go beyond itself, and his heart longs for that which is beyond. But the barrier that shuts him from the vision of the reality baffles him, hence the confusion and deep sorrow. Sri Krishna comes to the rescue of such a soul in the grip of a keenly painful struggle. He enunciates a threefold discipline by which the aspirant can break through the barrier and attain the supreme reality, which would mean for him perfect liberation and bliss. The threefold discipline is of bhakti, jnana, and karma. Bhakti is an intense longing and love for God, which enables the aspirant to keep up a constant remembrance of Him, thus purifying his emotions, elevating his thoughts to the consciousness of the reality. Bhakti is the adoration of God, who dwells in his own heart and fills the universe and surrender of all his actions to Him. Here a fit of renunciation seizes him, a mental recoil from the unrealities of life that had so long enthralled him. Through the exercise of an awakened intellect, he now begins to discriminate the real from the unreal, the eternal from the non-eternal. So it starts from bhakti, that we should remember. Subservience to a higher power, that is bhakti, love for Him. Bhakti, renunciation, discrimination, turn his mind inward, which now flows in a continuous stream to the glorious truth of his being, until he merges in and identifies himself with the immortal, unchanging, and all-pervading essence of his existence. This is the divine illumination, or jnana, which grants him a universal vision, a perception of God as an indwelling spirit, permeating and filling all the manifested world. So bhakti is to the indwelling reality, jnana is to broaden its base. Then, permeating and filling all the manifested. Then comes karma. Karma continues based upon an equal vision with a heart replete with love and a mind enlightened with wisdom. So bhakti and jnana. Love means bhakti, wisdom means jnana. So karma now becomes a spontaneous outflow of divine energy, acting through him for the uplift of humanity or loka sangraha. The aspirant, having realized the Supreme Godhead, is still an instrument in his hands, doing actions in utter self-dedication. That is God's divine Shakti working through him for the fulfillment of his purpose. That's why he gave us this birth. His attachment to the perishable external objects of the world is destroyed. He rises above the dandvas and gunas belonging to the lower and ignorant human nature. He is now ever in union with the God himself, in himself and in all creatures and things around him. He beholds the entire universe as the expression of an immutable, invisible, omnipresent God. God for him is both immanent, transcendent, in whom he becomes conscious that he is entirely lost, having attained perfect freedom, peace and bliss. This is the goal of life held out by Gita. And the next article is Clarion Voice of the Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is a veritable mosaic of eternal wisdom. It has not left unsolved a single problem pertaining to the conduct of human life, both in its spiritual and physical spheres. For the highest truths of philosophy, and also for a perfect light on the practical side of life, one has to go to this great work. The message of the entire Gita is to reveal the harmony and identity of the soul with God and of God with nature. It must be within the experience of every student of the Gita that the majority of the commentators on this great scripture have drawn out such truths from it as would coincide with their own views and predilections. Just now we have done it, no? And we have presented them to the world as the whole secret of this many-sided or all-comprehensive mine of wisdom. Some read into it, the Gita, an emphatic call to renounce all actions in the world as the ultimate goal. Some others argue that the Gita holds devotion to a personal God as the essential creed of it. Some would have it that Gita urges the soul to plunge into action, making that alone the sole criterion and the one necessary condition of human existence. Again, some others, taking the Mahabharata war, including the Gita, as only an allegorical exposition of the eternal truth, interpret the teachings from their viewpoint as embodying an uncompromising cult of ahimsa. Each one of these expounders of the Gita is right from the angle of vision by which we have struggled to understand the scripture. But the whole truth enshrined in its 18 chapters is all that they have said, put together, and much more besides. For all the commentaries we have to put, and also beyond. For an all-round, authoritative, conclusive, comprehensive treatise on the Gita, among the commentaries of the present day, one has to turn to the illuminating and inspiring volumes of the essays on the Gita by Sri Aurobindo. To understand life and realize its glory integrally, one has to study the Gita in all its phases and from all standpoints. Not merely the textual, no. To have a partial view of a particular aspect of it alone, and to hold forth that as the whole truth has been the cause of imperfection in spiritual experience. The purpose of the Gita is to proclaim that human life is essentially divine, spiritually, mentally, physically. The one aim is to prove that spirit and matter are one and the same. Activity in the world, whatever form it might take, as circumstances and conditions demand, is not a thing to be shunned or renounced. What is needed is to divinize life through the attainment of freedom from the individual sense by the mergence of it into God, who is at once the soul, the universe, and the all-transcendent, all-inclusive truth. The soul, whose life is thus liberated, as Gita says, is utterly divine in all his movements, significant as well as insignificant. No action for him is but a natural and spontaneous flow of divine energy acting through him. That means the sadhana, we have now separated sadhana and daily life. So through these words, Papa is making an aim at transforming the whole life as sadhana. No action for him is but a natural and spontaneous flow of divine energy acting through him. As God's supreme will, determines, this energy works through him equally to create, to preserve, and to destroy.